Hello, everybody, and welcome to Friday Night Frenzy Week 7. It is the final week of the regular season, and tonight we have 8 teams who are going to go head-to-head in some amazing Splatoon matches with a few playoff spots on the line. It's going to be so great. But before we get started, let me introduce you guys to our co-commentator tonight. We have Cater. Cater, how are you doing?
Hello, that is me. I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm doing fantastic. It's a good Friday night. It is crisp and cool outside. It's perfect time for actually fall weather now, and I'm really happy about it, and I'm really happy to be here.
Yeah, I am super excited as well. We're gonna have some great matchups on stream tonight, and I'm really excited to see all of the sets that we have. I mean, it's the final week of these sets right before we have the playoffs with top 4, right? So this is pretty much everything right here.
It absolutely is. And before we get started, let's take a look at the rules for Friday Night Frenzy. So again, 8 teams are playing round robin. And again, this is the final week. So after this week, every team will have played everybody. So each team, they only play once per week. So you play 3 games and you do play all 3 of those games. Now, some of the times we're used to best 2 out of 3, but due to having a potential tiebreaker, we do play all 3. The maps and modes are predetermined. So at the bottom there, you were able to get a sneak peek at the maps and modes that we're playing tonight. We will talk about those a little more. And the best part and most unique part about Friday Night Frenzy is that all of these matches are streamed and commentated. So you know when each match is coming up, the players know who they're facing ahead of time, and it's really nice for them to kind of practice too. And at the end of the regular season, which will be the end of tonight, the top 4 teams will go into a playoff scenario, and it's gonna be really good.
Yeah, I am super excited to see that. Honestly, seeing how you guys stream and commentate every single match, that's such dedication right there. I don't think I've ever seen a tournament do every single one of their matches, and that's really cool. That's unique to this. But I'm super excited to see. I believe first off on our sets, we're going to be seeing Wiggly Phantoms versus Intimidation Factor, and both of these teams are with seeds right now. Wiggly Phantoms are fighting for the 4th seed, fighting for a spot in playoffs.
Yeah, they absolutely are. And it's going to be a really crucial matchup for these teams. And yes, I see we have a typo, pork mackerel, in that very
my favorite stage.
The pork mackerel, the new Splatoon stage. Let me see if we can get that fixed real quick. I mean, you know, it's a new stage. What can we say? It's unique to Splatoon 2.5, Splatoon 3. Okay,
Splatoon almost 3.
Yeah, it's fixed now. Now we have real port mackerel.
There we go.
Yeah. But let's take a look at the standings right now, actually. So at the top, we have KingMaker, who is undefeated. They're 6-0. They are guaranteed a spot in the playoffs. Right below them is InkSync. They're sitting at 5-1, and they are actually going to be facing each other tonight. So the winner of those 2 teams will actually take the number 1 seed, because if InkSync wins, they'll have the tiebreaker over KingMaker. Intimidation Factor sitting at 4-2. They are a solid 3 seed. They cannot move from that position. And then sitting at 3-3, we have Flounder, Frights, and the Wiggly Phantoms. And right now, Flounder Frights has the head-to-head advantage between those 2. So they need to win and they're in. Wiggly Phantoms, they need to win and have Flounder Frights to lose. And Nightwings sitting at 2-4. They could be the ones playing spoilers, though. They are facing Wiggly Phantoms first. SPF 7, I believe, is taking on Intimidation Factor tonight, and Radical Dreamers facing Flounder Frights. Yeah, it's going to be really good. But first, let me show you guys a wonderful graphic that our good friends over on the Wiggly Phantoms made. I don't. It's just so funny. Will this be the Wiggles' final Friday Night Frenzy, or will they live to frenzy another Friday night in the playoffs? Tune in tonight to see. And yeah, this is going to be the first match between these 2 teams. Yeah, it's going to be the first one tonight, and it's going to be so good. I'm so excited to see it.
Definitely. We're going to have to see whether the Wigglies are going to be able to frenzy another Friday. But right now we can see that we've got the rosters up on screen, and of course the Wiggly Phantoms. I mean, if you guys aren't following their Twitter, you need to be, because that Twitter account is absolute gold. I believe Jub is the one behind a lot of those edits and posts. So absolute shout out to them. Other than that, though, I don't recognize. I don't recognize Nightwings. I'm gonna be completely honest.
Oh yeah, totally fine. Nightwings is actually a pickup team that they had a few of their members playing Friday Night Frenzy Season 1 last season, and have kind of morphed with another team called the Anglers, who played then too. They basically, Nightwings in this season and Flounder Frights in this season kind of have a roster where they all kind of are involved and play with each other. So
that's really cool. Good for them.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's going to be really, really fun to see how they do against the Wiggly Phantoms, who, if you're the Wiggly Phantoms, you need to win this game tonight. You need to win this set. And right now, the first match that we're going to have is going to be Tower Control on MakoMart. And MakoMart, this is the only time it's appearing in Friday Night Frenzy, because each map, well, no, some maps can appear twice, but I think this one's going to be really good.
Yeah, Mako, I mean, really Mako's one of the common, really well-liked stages, honestly, and Tower Control here I see a lot, especially in counterpick tournaments. I've been commentating a lot of counterpick tournaments recently, I've found, and when you're not having splat zones get counterpicked, Tower Control Mako is one of the more common ones that you see. So I'm really excited to see what both teams decide to pull out, especially because this is a pretty well-rounded stage, but you see that it favors those frontline Slayer weapons a little bit more, as well as sloshers like Try. Try is an absolute beast on this map mode. Maybe not as much as like maybe a Black Belly, but it can still do a lot of damage here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Nightwings, I feel like they're a very aggressive team, and Wiggly Phantoms have this synergy, but Wiggly Phantoms are now kind of going through a restructuring process. I believe some of the members that are playing now won't officially be members of the Wiggly Phantoms when Friday Night Frenzy is over, but, you know, you hate to see a team kind of go, but, you know, it happens to the best of them, so...
Yeah, they did say that they would be finishing Friday Night Frenzy, though, and so that is exactly what is happening here. But I mean, like you said, good for them. I mean, when it's nice when a team realizes, like, you know, when growth needs to be done. It's not a bad thing for change to happen within a team.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And I don't know how long the Wiggly Phantoms have been around, but I feel like all of their members who are currently on the roster have been there for quite some time, so, you know, this could be kind of like their farewell. You know, here's the
Friday Night Farewell, perhaps.
Friday Night Farewell, yes, but they're hoping it's going to be next week and not this week.
Yeah,
they're hoping
true.
They can get a set win over Nightwings. And again, if you're Nightwings, you want to play spoilers. You know, you want to help your Flounder Fright friends make the playoffs if you're Nightwings. And I know that is going to be what they're doing tonight.
It'd be pretty funny if you had Flounder Fright win Friday Night Frenzy. That would be quite the tongue twister.
It certainly would. And our first match is ready now, so let's get Tower Control on MakoMart underway. It is the first set of Week 7 of Friday Night Frenzy, Wiggly Phantoms versus Nightwings. Here we go.
Here we go indeed. We've got some interesting weapons coming out from both teams, actually. Wiggly Phantoms is bringing out that Carbon Roller, which I did not mention that, but it is one of those really, really strong weapons here as well. All of the ledges, as well as that Slosher coming out in a Sorella Umbrella, which is not something that I would expect to see outside of like Splat zones, but it's a very interesting pick. And then on the side of Nightwings, we've got that Vanilla Pro and Hydra coming out. Vanilla Pro is not a weapon you see very often, but with Nightwings going 2 down very early on, it's going to be Wiggly Phantoms taking that. And Splatcat here is a little bit of a bad position. That Carbon is chasing them down. They're able to censor them and take them out, thankfully, getting themselves out of that situation. And now the Wiggly Phantoms have gone 2 down, so that gives them a little bit more room to breathe, and that wasn't too much of a push, so it's likely that they can recover from that very quickly.
Yeah, kind of looking at these comps too, I feel like Nightwings have a very interesting pick with Vanilla Pro, K-Gal, Knot, and the Custom Hydra.
It is double Splatling, I did not notice that.
Yeah, double Splatling, but then if you look at the Wiggly Phantoms comp, they really don't have much range, and right now 3 players are down on the side of Nightwings. Looks like the Inkjet is going to stay alive. but it looks like the Wiggly Phantoms are on the tower now as they are pushing to their first checkpoint. We'll see how much they can push. Looks like the person on the tower spotted, but there are 3 players down again as the Wiggly Phantoms get past that checkpoint pretty easily.
Yeah, that Hydra is on their own, and that's going to be a full wipe on the side of Nightwings. So they're just going to continue sitting on this tower. You got Ambered on that Zap, just doing their duty as a support player, riding that tower and juking out of that knot as well. You can see all of the members of the Wigglies working together, and they are already almost past that second checkpoint. Very quickly it's fallen now. And although a couple of members are going down in both teams, you got Jub here using that chicken rush from the top of the tower here. Even though 2 of their members are down, Wiggly Phantoms is still very much maintaining a presence. They did not give up the tower, got it all the way to 17, and now you can see members jumping back into mid in the perfect position. Unfortunately, that carbon censored, which means they're going to lose the element of stealth for just a little bit longer. You can see that the Vanilla Pro is using those sensors really well, but the K-Gal's gone down, unfortunately, which is going to mean that they lose a lot of aggression, because that K-Gal, I feel, plays the most frontline role in that entire comp.
Yeah, right now, Wiggly Phantoms slowly had to back out just a little bit. I mean, they get all the way to 17, which is an amazing push. But right now, Nightwing's doing a pretty good job in actually getting the Wiggly Phantoms in danger for just a little bit here, as it looks like Azzy and Splat have control of the left side. Ooh, and Splat with a nice kill on Gem. 2 players are alive on both teams now. Looks like, oh, Splat with another kill.
Wow.
This is going to be the opportunity for Nightwings to push the objective and potentially get past his first checkpoint.
Oh, snack on that slosher though, just say, you know, an end to that killing streak. And that Hydra on the tower is gonna pop armor and continue to sit there, but they're a little bit alone and isolated, and so unfortunately they're going to have to drop off. We've got a counter armor, but oh, unfortunately the Zap just completely eats that inkjet shot that you see coming out from the knot here, and they continue to make progress, slow but steady. They have gotten to 55, but unfortunately with that K-Gal going down, they're gonna have to back off just a little bit.
Yeah, they are, and we're just about 2 minutes remaining right now, and if you're the Wiggly Phantoms, you have a decent lead, but you saw the potential of Nightwings and how they were able to push, how they were able to capitalize on that player advantage. So what method will they want to use to kind of push up? And right now, they're doing a really good job. Troll using the inkjet, trying to stay alive, but gets a nice snipe on Jub, but Wiggly Phantoms still have a lot of map control right now.
Definitely, they very much have that going for them, both with the slosher, which can paint if you really want it to. It's not the most like the defining facet, but it can definitely help. And with that Zap though, that's the main force. But we just saw that was pretty much the equivalent of a wipe, as the Zap had to jump out, being the only one left. However, they have that armor at the ready, which is going to be super duper important, as, I mean, with that Zap still being alive, being the main source of paint control for them, and putting down so much paint already, they have that armor, and they're going to be building up another one, getting a pick as well. That's going to be crucial for them in this last 45 seconds of the match. As you can see, this with 3 down now, that being, yeah, the delayed wipe on Nightwings right there, the turf control that they're putting down just allows them to move pretty much everywhere and trap Nightwings in their own turf, which is exactly what's happening right now.
Yeah, and that's really crucial with just about 30 seconds left. When you get a near wipe kind of that close to having 0 time remaining on the clock, it's so hard. But even look how much paint is kind of up on Nightwing's side, as we see one of the rollers kind of pushing up on Splatcat, and it looks like too Wiggly Phantom's still doing a really good job just pushing this tower, knowing, hey, we can get this as far as we possibly need to. If we all get wiped, we'll have to position ourselves, but we have just about 5 seconds. Will Splatcat stay on the tower? No, it looks like just a knot, and that is a wipe.
A wipe to finish off the game. Snag on that slosher, showing absolutely no mercy, and the first game of that set's going to go to Wiggly Phantoms.
It absolutely is, and I mean, very close game for, you know, pretty much, I'd say the first 3 minutes, and then, I mean, just look at the map there at the end, too. It really was in favor of the Wiggly Phantoms team, and they did a really good job getting a win, and again, a very much needed win if they want to move on to the playoffs. Again, if they win this set, they also need Flounder Frights to lose their set in order for them to make it to the playoffs. So Nightwing still has an opportunity to play spoilers, and we have Clam Blitz on Musselforge Fitness coming up next. What are your thoughts on that, Kater?
Oh, this one's interesting. I mean, Musselforge as a whole is not the most liked stage out there. I mean, thankfully we're not playing Rainmaker on that. That would go very quickly. But Clamets on Musselforge is really interesting because it's similar to Humpback, where you can approach the basket head on, or you can take a really long side route. And if you take that route and you're up there, it's really hard for the defending team, if they're not also up there, just to stop you from getting more clams in. And that basket, that straight on route, is also decently close to mid. However, with Musselforge, you have that additional trench underneath it, so like if somebody gets killed, the power clam can drop into that trench and pretty much inconvenience you to the point where you can't push anymore.
Yeah, that's a really good point. It's just so hard, especially when somebody's flanking too, because when you drop down and you realize that there's somebody from the other team just scoring clams, and you're like, I cannot find you for the life of me. What can I do? It's just so hard to navigate that.
Definitely, and the fact that that's a great leading up to the basket just makes travel so much more difficult, because it feels like it's not that much time in just a regular match, but when you're trying to get through with crucial clams, swimming and running can be such a huge difference. So that's what makes shield type weapons and subs just so important on this. You have things like wall, tent, or bubbles that can be really, really effective in pushing up. But we do have the umbrella continuing out, so that's going to be really, really useful in getting over the grates. And then we've got a bit of a comp change coming out from Nightwings. We've got the 96 for the armor, who immediately goes down. Unfortunately, the Splash, who also immediately goes down. Amber's on a roll here, as well as that Octobrush coming out. And is that a Vanilla Hydra?
That is a Vanilla Hydra with chicken.
Chicken? Yes, it's chicken and splashdown.
Wow. Yeah, something we don't see very often. It looks like Azzy is using that weapon, but again, like Nightwings, they did have a pretty dramatic comp change. I believe they changed every weapon, whereas Wiggly Phantoms maybe changed 2 of their 4, I think. But right now, it looks like there is a power clam for Nightwings and a power clam for the Wiggly Phantoms, as it looks like Wiggly Phantoms have a little bit of an advantage with their map control and a player advantage. Amber's going to be pushing up towards the basket and is going to score, giving the first points for the Wiggly Phantoms.
Yeah, you see that Hydra using that splash down, but Amber's able to just jump out of the way in time, and now we've got the members pushing up on that left side, and Jub scoring in all of those clams just before they go down, taking that score all the way down to 59, which is a great number to be at. Even though that was a delayed wipe for Wiggly Phantoms, it's going to take Nightwings a little bit of time to recover, and 59 is just such a good number to be at, because if you throw in 2 power clams, that's only 60, so you can't get the lead immediately by just throwing in 2 power clams, which is why 60 is just such a benchmark number in Clam Blitz I've seen time and time again.
Yeah, and Wiggly Phantoms, they made a really good use of that too, because Cater, we were mentioning, if you push from the side, sometimes it's so hard to be spotted there, and 2 members from Nightwings were down below. Looks like Savage is going to score now and going to use their armor. I don't think many other members of the team are in position to score. Maybe Splatcat could do something here, but unfortunately not enough time, and Nightwings could not really follow up with that push.
Yeah, it was a good score, but unfortunately with this jump in from Jub, and Jub manages to escape as well. They are just going to clap right back with it, and I doubt we'll be getting much of a follow-up. Well, that's a nice trade, though, and actually we are getting a follow-up. That trade just enough to distract. That's a full wipe, but not before they get it all the way down to 29. That was so good. Jub able to distract one of the members of Nightwings just long enough to use that shield. I mean, I don't know if you saw that, but the Sorella Umbrella did indeed use their shield to help their teammates tank damage while they were throwing in clams. That's textbook teamwork right there.
Absolutely. Again, a really good follow-up for the Wiggly Phantoms, and they were able to just really make good use of that counter push. I don't know if somebody pushed up to Jub or they just jumped in, or I don't know how they scored really. But again, if you're Wiggly Phantoms, you have 2 minutes left. You have a pretty comfortable lead. You know, you have a player advantage right now. You have 2 players alive, and I think they're probably going to go for the KO, and I think that's what they want to do in this situation.
Oh yeah, unfortunately that K-shot's gonna go down to the 96, and with that, we've got almost even numbers here once that K-shot respawns, but still, we have a clan's advantage for Wiggly Phantoms right here, and as you can see, they are trying to get ready to go in yet again, this way from Gem, telling everyone to group up. They've got a power clam, and are unfortunately under attack. With that zap and the K-shot down, though, it's gonna be a lot more difficult, and you can see that there are definitely people up here. We've got a jump up here with the power clam, we've got an inkjet as well, and so that's going to be another barrier break. But as you can see, the members of the Wiggly Phantoms have already seen this and are already up here. So although we've got a few clams in, and those members were actually able to get in all of their clams all the way down to 49, the Wiggly Phantoms are very quick to act on that and shut that push down. It's a good push, but unfortunately it's not going to stand up to 29. And with only about just a little over 1 minute left, time is running out for Nightwing to do something.
It really is. We have, just about a minute left, and there are 3 power claims that are ready for the Wiggly Phantoms, and look how much map control that they have too.
Wow, and all these specials all coming out at the same time. Splat Bomb Launcher, Ink Armor, Tenta Missiles, they are going in right now. You can see that they want to go in. That Octobrush, though, on the back is going to do some damage, but the Jub gets up there unnoticed. That's 3 down from Nightwings again. A full white. The Tri-Slosher is the only one, and they're just up there. They're not going to be able to save that Clam, and I don't think they're going to get Clams either, so they're just going to Shark and base and fall to the Octobrush, but that is a bloodbath.
It really is, and it was unfortunate for the Wiggly Phantoms because they could have KO'd if they maybe had one more player alive who was able to kind of get some clams
and jump to the try. Yeah,
right. It's just so close, and now we have just about 15 seconds left. And Nightwings, they're getting more and more map control. They'll need to form a power clam. Looks like Troll's going to have a clam. This will have to be their last push. There were 2 players down. As Troll's going to push up with the power clam, Troll's going to have to maybe do something with this. But there's another power clam that's ready. Let's see how these 2 teams, or let's see how these 2 players push up. Troll's gonna grab it, pull, drops down. Oh, I don't think they meant to fall, and now they get splatted. Savage has a power cam ready. Can Savage get there in time? Savage is going to need to push up and score, but can Splatcat get it on the side? Splatcat might run out of time. Miss!
They throw, that's just so close, falling just short of the basket. Very, very unfortunate. And I mean, you can see that frantic overtime. Pushes like that are often really just scrappy and thrown together because you don't have time to prepare for overtime. But that was such a good push. I mean, you could see they were trying, but unfortunately they just probably just a few inches in game short of the basket. That is also going to be the set win for the Wiggly Phantoms. So that is 1 box of 2 checked off for them. They're just going to have to wait and see. But of course, we are in a play all 3, so there is still room for a 2-1 instead of a 3-0.
Yeah, and that technically won't mean anything for the playoff scenario, but if you're Nightwings, like, you were so close for most of the match on tower control. You had such a close chance when you played Clam Blitz on Musselforge. This is the match to do it. Zones Port Mackerel. I mean, it is a map and a mode, and it's different.
Yeah,
than
I will
Splat
say, I mean, other than when it was purposely put there, I don't know if I've ever seen Port Mackerel in a tournament setting.
Yeah, I mean, one of the unique things about Friday Night Frenzy is we'll kind of go off script a little bit with the maps and mode selection just to be a little bit different, and that kind of gives an advantage maybe to teams who aren't used to competitive, since the more competitive teams are going to be practicing those comp maps and modes more so than maybe some pickup teams and whatnot, but anything is possible.
Oh, definitely. I mean, it's always entertaining to see those bad map, the bad map tournaments, like the upcoming one from DSS, as well as the bad maps, the curse maps testing grounds that happened a little while ago, because you get to see different things that teams might not be as prepared for. You have very common map mode combinations that you're going to be practicing for, learn strategies for, and then you have stuff like this that gets thrown at you out of almost nowhere. I mean, I wonder what we're going to be seeing from Nightwings, just because they pulled out such a drastic comp change in the previous match. They probably could do it here again. That's just amazing flexibility from their players.
Yeah, it really was. And I mean, they could also pull something completely different. I believe they went all blob in one match before. Because it was a game 3, so they were just able to do whatever.
Ooh, wait, we've got different weapons on both sides. That Explo's coming out from Wiggly Phantoms. I love Explo on zones. It's just such an amazing weapon. And then we've got that Vanilla Hydra making a comeback as well as we've got the 52 Deco. So we're gonna likely be seeing some Ray spam.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, very nice. That's gonna be a 3 down very quickly. Ray on Port Mackerel is such a beast, and I say this as a CJet player myself. And honestly, I think this is a great pick here because Gal on here, I mean, you're gonna see a lot of close fights, but also it's gonna be in position to be able to use that Ray, it's going to be in safe positions while it's inking up a lot safer than a lot of other maps. So I'm very, very excited to see that. Meanwhile, we are seeing Nightwings be very, very dominant very early on in this match. Unfortunately, they are 2 down right now, so it's likely that Wiggly Phantoms are going to be making a pushback for the zone very soon. But that was a great opening from them. I mean, they're already under 40, and I didn't even get to comment on the blue dapples in their comp, which is such a good weapon, by the way. And this might be a knockout, actually, as Wiggly Phantoms goes 3 down yet again. My goodness.
Yeah, this match is definitely different than the first 2 that we've seen. Again, Wiggly Phantoms haven't even taken it, and I think that early Ray is what really did it for Nightwings. That was you were able to get a kill and maybe 2 assists out of that, and Nightwings gonna get the 1 push KO.
Good for them. That set ending in a 2-1. I mean, like, we're not going down 3-0. They said we can pull some funny tricks on this map mode, and I mean that Ray getting that 1 pick like just so quickly. That's pretty much the epitome of Ray on this map. Just because the corridors are so small, and even if you don't get the kill on your own, that puts so much chip damage on you. I mean, I didn't even notice that was a K-Pro. I was too busy talking about the Ray.
Yep. And we have the wrong logo. Let me fix that. Intimidation Factor. They weren't playing in this match. What are they doing here?
Intimidation Factor. My favorite team out of the Wiggly Phantoms and Nightwings. I guess they just barged in and said, this is our match now. Don't worry about it. You don't have to get the credit.
Yeah. No, actually, it was all of Intimidation Factor's teammates who were playing on Nightwings that time. No, but no, good job, good job for Nightwings.
It's like when Wiggly Phantoms, the entirety of the team got added as a player to which team was that?
Oh, I forget. I forget.
Well, they were added as a member to a team. That's what that reminds me of.
Yeah, very good performance there by the Wiggly Phantoms for staying alive in the playoff hunt. So again, they're 4-3. They're not quite in yet. They are going to need to be paying attention to set 3 and hope that Radical Dreamers can get a set win over Frights. If you're Radical Dreamers, you definitely want that set win. It will be your first set win in Friday Night Frenzy. So tonight's biggest cheerleaders for the Radical Dreamers are the Wiggly Phantoms.
Yeah, I mean that's how you want it to go. I mean, Radical Dreamers want to help out their Wiggly friends getting into the playoffs. But now that set is over, all they have to do is just wait and see for the results of I believe the 3rd set that we're going to be seeing this evening.
Yeah, but before that, we have set number 2, which is going to feature Intimidation Factor versus SPF 7. So this match won't have any playoff implications because Intimidation Factor, they are a locked-in number 3 seed, and SPF 7, they're looking to get a really good win over Intimidation Factor, who, earlier last month, I believe, won Little Squid League, so they know that they're a hard team to beat. If you win a Little Squid League, you're sitting pretty good.
Definitely. And can I just say, I love SPF 7's logo so much. It is so nicely done.
Oh yeah, I believe that was made by Juicy. Somebody on that team correct me if I'm wrong, but this is Spawn Point Friends 7 members. So they're such a fun team.
Good for them, but yeah, Intimidation Factor does certainly have, an Intimidation Factor with that LSL win under their belt. And of course, we're going to be going back to those same 3 maps that we're seeing. We're going to be seeing those all night. So I find that really interesting because I'm going to be able to see in quick succession how different teams decide to play on these map modes. I mean, Splat Zone's part in particular. Like, I've never seen that in a competitive setting before.
Yeah, and I mean, it was kind of interesting, what we saw, which was kind of a 1-push KO, and that, makes it pretty tricky to kind of gauge, what's going to happen, how are these teammates going to do. But, if you're Intimidation Factor and if you're SPF 7, you watch that match and you're like, oh, okay, an early Ray works. Maybe we can do that. And, anything's possible.
Anything is definitely possible, especially, I mean, I keep saying this, on lesser played maps. There's just room for so much more to come out. And then, of course, on the other hand, you've got some more common maps where you probably have everything and anything under the sun that's been tried, but maybe not. I mean, everything works. I've seen stuff like Triple Sploosh 7, I've seen All Blob, I've seen a good amount of things in completely competitive settings. So I mean, anything can happen.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you mentioned it in Friday Night Frenzy Season 1, in the very first week, we had Clam Blitz on Moray Towers. So, anything...
Yeah, you know, I don't know how to feel about that.
Well, the logic there was that every map and mode has an opportunity to show up. I literally used an RNG, calculator, whatever, to determine it. And, they weren't particularly sought after maps and modes, so this one is if you played in the first season and you're looking at it right now, you probably think this season's a little better with the maps and mode selection. But that's always up in the air. Everybody's different. Definitely. Right?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of maps have different degrees of being played. For example, I believe like the big ones to ban are often things like Arowana and Port are the ones I see banned very often. And Kelp Dome, sometimes, I mean, I see it pop up once or twice for some reason. Gobi Splat Zones is played in a couple of places like Low Ink. I've commentated Walleye, Rainmaker, and Zones in the same grand finals match. It was one in semis and one in grand. So I've seen Walleye, and it's dangerous to go alone. So sometimes you see these maps, but I mean, I'm pretty sure I've never seen Arowana in a competitive setting now.
Yeah, well, it appeared in the first one, and
go figure.
And it actually appeared, I believe it was Splat Zones in FNF2. So
rough.
Yeah. But before we get started with this set, I found the visual for our play.
Small sets can mean a lot, especially it just within a community as small as this one, friends are made, and it's just really cool to see people talking about sets and being really, really friendly about it, congratulating each other. It's one of the most wholesome things I've seen on Splat Twitter. Just not necessarily entire tournaments, but small teams talking about their sets with each other, talking about scrim results and how they were good games. It's just so wholesome.
It is, and one of my staff members just informed me that playoff scenario scene was completely muted, so I apologize for that. But basically, we were just reading off the scenarios, so nothing you missed from our commentary. So I apologize, Blue. Thank you. Blue's keeping me in check. Shout out to Blue. He doesn't stream, but he's basically does everything that I completely missed during Friday Night Frenzy. So.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I think once I was trying to fill time because we'd had disconnects and technical issues, so the stream switched to a be right back scene. I was solo commentating this. I soloed, filled time for 4.5 minutes, and when I stopped to take a breath, the streamer says very hesitantly, I'm so sorry, but the stream automatically mutes when we cut to be right back.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, well, why didn't you tell me? And they said, well, I didn't want to interrupt you.
Even though you weren't talking to anyone. Oh, man. Yeah, that's a little rough. But, it happens. We've all
practice.
We've all had our fair share of technical difficulties.
Yeah.
Luckily at Riptide, I don't think we had anything kind of come up other than those disconnects. That one set that had like 5 DCs.
I believe it was 4 on stream.
Yeah,
yes.
And it was on stream, and it's like, how do you DC during a LAN? That's a great question.
There was also during Grands where Rissa and Siren were put on stream with Pop Gun and Magic.
Oh, yes, and everyone
and Pop Gun has hair. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good time.
It definitely was. Riptide in general was a very good time.
Oh yeah, I can't stop talking about it, and
Yeah.
hopefully next year,
Hopefully, there's a picture of me, I believe, in that photos chat, which I think is locked now. But there is a picture of me, with the squid sitting in the commentary table. I was wearing a pair of headphones, and then my squid plush was wearing the other pair of headphones. That's like my favorite photo.
Oh, I love it. I love it so much. So our teams are now in the lobby. So right now they are choosing their weapons. Again, tower control, MakoMart. I really liked what I saw from both teams in our first set, and I'm thinking that based on how these players play, we'll probably see the same thing. Since this one is likely more competitively viable than the other two maps and modes. But, you know, we could always be surprised.
Yeah, it's likely you're going to see very what's the word, orthodox comps on this map mode, especially compared to other ones, you know.
Yeah.
Like you said.
They have just about 20 seconds or so remaining, but you know, this one again doesn't have playoff implications, but if you're Intimidation Factor, you want to go into the playoffs with a win. You want to be 5-2. It's like 5-2, that record sounds so much better than 4-3, even though both are technically winning records. But you know, you just kind of want that momentum. And right now, Intimidation Factor, I believe, they might be on a 2-game win streak. I'm not sure, so they're sitting pretty good. But our teams are ready, so let's get you guys started with the second set, Intimidation Factor versus SPF7.
Yeah, definitely. Momentum is a very important factor in Splatoon tournaments, especially ones as drawn out as this, where, you know, you have a lot of time to think between sets, and so to have a win to reflect on is so much better. And we are gonna see our comps seeing Hero Splatling as well as Tentabella as well as Hero Roller come out all on the same team from Intimidation Factor. I'm super excited to see how that comp works out. I absolutely love seeing any heavy variant on tower control. Chusket it is such a good tower rider. I've seen a description of it as like a tower rider weapon. It's good as a weapon. It would stay still in the first place anyway, so you may as well have it stay still in the tower. And it has enough maneuverability as well as range and burst fire with the Splatling to reach things and defend itself. It's very nice to have. On the other side, we've got a vanilla jet squelcher as opposed to the custom jet that I would expect on this map mode. Oh no, wait. No, that's Hero Heavy. Okay, I'm getting myself confused. I was like, that's a Stingray, and then I saw the Sprinkler. But yeah, that is a V-Jet. And then we've got, aside from that, we've got pretty orthodox weapons. You know, the Zap, the K-Gal, which has just fallen, the T-Tech. That's all pretty orthodox. But you've got, back to the game right now, because I think I just spent like a whole minute and 10 seconds rambling about that. We've got a full wipe on Intimidation Factor, and even though they are in the lead, that is going to give their opponents a good chance at coming back and attempting to come back with a push of their own. We've got a fight between this K-Gal and the Roller going on. Jukes from both sides and ending in a trade. That Roller would have gotten the pick if not for the armor on the 52.
Yeah, if you're the Roller, I would say you walking away from that as a trade being the win facing a K-Gal. You know, we have a tournament called Shopping Spree coming up pretty soon, and looking at the top from SPS 7, that would be a solid like $38 right there. $35 or something like that.
You don't have that much money.
You got $20, yeah. No, we'll talk about more about some upcoming tournaments later on right now, but we have about 3 minutes left in this game, and really, these teams are going back and forth so far. Unfortunately, SPF 7, when they had that team wipe against Intimidation Factor, they couldn't capitalize on it that much, only getting to 68, not even getting to the first checkpoint. But Intimidation Factor now again at their first checkpoint, not on the tower, probably gonna wait for that Booyah Bomb to go away. And yeah, tower's likely gonna go back to mid.
Yeah, we are honestly just seeing not even a death match. Right? Usually in this case, you're seeing a very high KAs from both teams because they're just kind of killing each other instead of paying attention to objective. But you're not necessarily seeing that. It's pretty average right now, and I think both teams are just really looking for that big opportunity. But other than that wipe, we haven't really seen much other than 2 downs. However, it looks like, both teams are almost in a position. They're both Zaps have their armors. It looks like Intimidation Factor is going to be the first to pop that. Of course, a pop in response. And so with all of these specials coming out, that splashdown as well from the Roller, unfortunately going down immediately after, and then with that, the tower just resets right back to mid. We've got 2 minutes left, and the points, the leads are still within 10 points of each other.
Yeah, under 2 minutes, nobody's gotten past that first checkpoint yet. So right now, it's just really a battle at mid. And winning these 1v1s, here's the Intimidation Factor and Arwen with a nice save, avoiding the Booyah Bomb. That is going to get Intimidation Factor on the tower, able to push up. I think they'll get past this first checkpoint with no problem, but we should see anything's possible in this match.
Definitely, and that Toxic Mist is going to make it that much more difficult for them. We see a lot of sub-weapons coming out, very nicely used. However, that roller, fall-off kills, and now they are ledge camping like their life depends on it. Very, very nice job in exploitation just of all of these ledges, as well as just the way that Roller Ink behaves. You can see them aiming their camera up so that ink falls directly down onto their opponents. And with that, the second checkpoint is passed, and Intimidation Factor is on a roll, getting that sub-20, and now we are in the last minute of our match.
We are, and getting all the way almost to the third checkpoint. 18 remaining, a very good spot. It's going to be really hard for SPS7 to come back, especially Juicy. Juicy's alive, just trying to stay alive. Gonna try and throw some mist at the hammer. And can they win this 1v1 against Dorsal? No, Dorsal gets it as Intimidation Factor still on the tower, continues to jump in. Will they get the KO? It looks not quite yet. Will Zanala stay alive? Zanala's still there. Dorsal's still there, but SPF7 doing a good job just not letting them get the KO.
Definitely. We've got 25 seconds left, and they are locked in their defense right now. This is not a position they want to be in for the win, unfortunately. I mean, you can see that this T-Tech has their Inkjet at the ready, but not quite using it just yet, having to avoid that Stingray first. Good timing from them. They are using it in this last 10 seconds here as that tower begins to reset. Back to me, getting a pick with it as well. 2 down now. Unfortunately, gets taken out by that Splatling, who lands a double kill, going in for that last pick. Unfortunately, not going to get it just yet. We do have a member on the tower, but that Splat is going to pick them off. Yeah, very, very nice. That Booyah Bomb going to get taken out. The jump in there also going to get taken out. That is a full wipe, and Dorsal just going on an absolute shredding people on the end of that match right there, saying, you know, you can get a little bit of overtime as a treat, and then we're going to immediately shut it down.
Yeah, and it's just crazy, you know, once you get that team wipe, once you get the momentum going, there's really nothing stopping you. And look at Dorsal and Arwen with those kills, 16 and 18, really, really good, giving Intimidation Factor their first win. No, they did not play in sets 1 and 2. This is their, in fact, their first win. Since we had that graphic incorrectly displayed before. But SPS7, they did such a good job too, just staying alive that entire time. And if you can do that and let the match come down to the last minute against Intimidation Factor, that might be in your favor.
Definitely. I mean, like, not getting KO'd is definitely preferable to getting KO'd, because, you know, once you get KO'd, the game's completely over. You have no chance to come back. But if you can stop it just before that, you have a chance to come back. You saw that overtime push beginning to form. Unfortunately, they just weren't able to pull it off, but what matters is that they were able to make that happen in the first place.
Yeah, indeed. And now we have Clam Blitz on Musselforge Fitness coming up, and looks like Intimidation Factor has 2 ready, and SPF7, they're readying up pretty quickly too, but you know, I think at the end of that match, it was just textbook play for Intimidation Factor. They kind of backed up. They retreated a little bit. They realized, okay, SPF7, they have a bit to go to ride this tower. So let me put myself in a good position where I can just get some picks as they start feeding in. And, you know, at that point, if you're SPF7, you kind of have to feed to the tower. Somebody has to be on the tower. But Intimidation Factor just able to really set up their positions and take care of business.
Yeah, like you said, it's really wise of them to back up and put themselves in a favorable position instead of trying to come to SPS7, because they know SPS7 is going to come to them. So why meet them in the middle when they can meet them in their own territory?
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll see what weapon changes we have too. You know, if your Intimidation Factor, what isn't broke, don't fix it. You know, you had quite a bit of kills there, but every map and mode is different. But we are ready for game 2, so let's bring you Clam Blitz on Musselforge Fitness.
Yeah, definitely. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But maybe if it ain't broke, you can improve it, as we saw in those comp changes that Nightwings were pulling out in the previous. Comp changes are not necessarily a bad thing, especially if you have the flexibility to do that. So we will see what comes in here. We've got a try appearing As well as that change to a heavy deco. I love seeing heavy deco on Clams as an avid player of the weapon myself. It is great in the right scenarios. That splash wall as well as the bubbles are really going to help pushes in here, as well as tanking damage over those grates. That is crucial. I love seeing heavy deco on this map.
Yeah, it's a good one. I'm a big Junior fan, so I love seeing Juniors anytime, especially in Claim Blitz. Junior with Claim Blitz, it's so fun to play.
Yeah. As someone who has suffered the onslaught of bombs as an anchor, yeah, man. And there's one right there. I got not. That was not from the Junior. That was from the Try. But still, it is a Splat bomb either way. And with that, we're gonna have Clams being thrown to Juicy, and it looks like they're almost they're opting to take this route here. They've been spotted though, and their teammate's gonna get taken out. They're gonna run right into a hammer. Unfortunate, they were just immediately thrown off, and that's gonna result in a 3 down for their team, which means that that advantage that they had seemed to have is going to immediately go to, well, not immediately, but begin to go to Intimidation Factor, who has this Tent Umbrella on their side. I saw Umbrella in the last set in the form of a Sorella Umbrella, but now we're seeing Tent and the sheer power that it brings. But unfortunately, the shield regeneration time is just a little bit too high, to protect them from this Nautilus, who goes in and gets a second pick as well. And now that is going to mean that this team can step up into mid just a little bit, and they have specials as well. They have that Inkjet, and the Juniors getting closer and closer to that armor with every passing frame, as well as the power clams, a good amount of clams, so hopefully they can get a push started soon. Whoa! Amazing pick from Roar. I mean, they just spotted that and they went for it immediately. Meanwhile, Rose on this back on this power clam here. That's 2 down. Hopefully they can begin to go in soon, especially with this Inkjet. They don't want to be stalled out here for too long. They just gotta take care of them. They just gotta take care of the members on the other side. They're gonna jump in, throw it, get the pick. Very nice. Unfortunately, they did go 3. Wait, no, they did not go 3 down. The other team's gone 3 down.
Yes.
That is perfect for them. Unfortunately, they've gone 3 down. I have cursed them. And also, I have not even talked about the Kenza Dooley's pick. That is not something you see every day.
No, it really isn't, especially on a stage like this. But, if you're able to kind of, sneak up on somebody and roll off of a ledge and get them, that might be towards your advantage. But Intimidation Factor, right now, they have a power claim. They have 8 claims. Arwen's might pick up a power claim, too. Going to be using some armor. And, man, SPS 7, they had such a good push. Unfortunately, couldn't capitalize and only got to 68 with their push. But right now, Intimidation
suction
Factor,
bomb kills.
Nice suction bomb kill, taking care of business, controlling mid. Dorsal going to be using these bubbles, going to maybe be pushing up. Yes, the high.
Bubble pick.
Yeah, bubble pick with the heavy. But Dorsal's still going to have to retreat. Is going to go back a little bit because they're spotted, and yeah, they are 2 down. So kind of a missed opportunity for Intimidation Factor, as they don't have the lead with 2 minutes remaining.
Yeah, unfortunate. I mean, Dorsal here still pulling off those picks. You could see that they were trying to go for one, but they saw that they were within range to get killed, and so they had retreated, which was good for preserving themselves, for preserving the power climb. You can see that sand get canceled in the distance. That jump get canceled. The full wipe. This is right now they need to go in, and Dorsal's in the perfect position to do so. They get armored just as they're going in. They have those bubbles as well. This is just immediate to this textbook Clams push right now, and you've got 2 members on the bottom, 2 members coming up from the side. They get the picks that they need. That's 3 down again, and now all they need to do is gather clams, which is easier said than done, but I mean, getting to 44 in 1 push this late in the game is very good for them.
Yeah, it is, and just about a minute left. Scrub barely going to be staying alive. Using that
hammer
stamp.
saving them.
Yeah, they still have a lot of map control too at mid. Can Scrub get a pick there? No, unfortunately no. But is going to now be avoiding the Inkjet as the Umbrella goes down. Right now, Dorsal and Scrub going to be backing up just a little bit right now, as Intimidation Factor is slowly losing control of their zone. But yeah,
bomb kill on the shield. Very unfortunate. And Rose, though, is going to go down. I mean, the zap that killed them going to go down. We've got just over 30 seconds left, and like you said, the Intimidation Factor is very slowly losing that map control. The scales are tipping ever so slightly, and you can look at the clam counts as well. They don't have any clams, and they're allowing their opponents to gather clams. However, that pick is crucial with only 18 seconds left. That gives them the player advantage. You see those bubbles going out as a measure of defense as well, and Roar having to back up, getting damage from almost bubbles from nowhere, it seems. Those bubbles that getting popped are going to give them a lot of map mid control back, but we still have both the armor and the inkjet on this opposing side here as well, and now it is overtime. They've got about 20 seconds to get all the way across the map, and that's going to be very hard when you see this defense that Intimidation Factor is putting up right now.
Right, they do have 2 power claims, so it's going to be really hard. Seneku's going to be ballering in. If they try to jump to Seneku, they might run out of time because overtime might end pretty soon. Juicy going to get there. Juicy's still going to have to jump again, but that's going to be the game.
Unfortunate. I mean, you saw there was so much going on. There's so much. Overtime's always so chaotic. Unfortunately, just not able to pull it off right there.
Yeah, Intimidation Factor with that win, they will be moving up to 5-2. SPF ending their season at 1-6, but again, we still have Game 3 to play.
We do indeed. So with that, like you said, this that win's going to Intimidation Factor, but those games mean a lot. Not necessarily right here, but they can mean a lot in other settings like Swiss or other round robin settings where they can determine tiebreakers or the like. So it's always good practice to never give up until the end of your set.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, what we saw in set 1, we saw the team who was down 2-0 in their set just completely do a reverse sweep, and get the knockout. Just like,
oh yeah, that 180,
you know,
that was great.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Great to see, and hopefully we can see something along those lines here. I mean, there's always a chance for SPF 7 to come back, and I would love to see that happen.
Yeah, I would too. And again, like, they were right there with Intimidation Factor. They could form the power claims, but it seems like the map control from Intimidation Factor just was really hard to match.
Yeah, well, with this last map coming, this is going to be all about map control. I mean, this is Splat zones. That's the whole deal. Hopefully we'll get to see a little bit more of it than that very quick match that we saw last time, but we shall see. We've got the Hydra coming out. That's going to be great. We got the Grin coming out, as well as an L3D, so that's going to be really interesting. I'm very, very excited to see that Grim range come out, because even though Blaster doesn't have the strongest paint out there, it's got a lot of range. It's got those missiles for seeking people out, got those burst bombs. That's going to be really interesting to see how that works with the rest of that comp, especially since neither Blaster nor Tent have an abundance of painting. That's really going to be up to the Nozzle Nose as well as the Junior to paint. But of course, that is pretty much their job.
Yeah, and I just want to point out SPF 7 using 3 of my 5 favorite weapons in this game. Junior, K-Shot, and Neo Splash. And right now, Scrub holding control of the zone, but staying alive. Yes, if you're Scrub, you just got to back out. You got to realize, okay, zone's not going to us, but somehow Scrub just did not go down, so... I would say, Scrub helped them maybe push the objective 5 or 10 units more. But yeah, look at this push-up by SPF 7.
Yeah, I mean, this is just aggression from them. Roar, they're getting, that was a delayed triple with that double factoring with the tent kill. That was amazing. And now they're bringing out the suction bomb rush to assert so much control, so much map control. I mean, it's like they heard us. That Neo Splash is absolutely amazing. And we might be seeing something similar to our last game. Although, as I say that, the L3 is going to take out that splash, and hopefully with this curling bomb launcher as well as the ink armor, this can help the Intimidation Factor break out. Ooh, they run directly into a Hydra Splatling, and unfortunately with that getting taken out, they're not going to be able to take the zone, but those missiles are going to force them back, and now they are having to fight for the zone. You see those jumps coming in as well, the armor getting popped very, very shortly there, and that's going to be the zone flip, thankfully for Intimidation Factor. Unfortunately, that Hydra's just able to squeak out a kill on the Junior, and that's going to be 3 down on Intimidation Factor, so SPF 7 is going to be able to take that back and go right back to their turf control ways. And also, I want to comment that tent is a Tentasorella umbrella, so that's one of only 2 weapons in the game with Curling Bomb Rush.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And I mean, I
love that pick for this map.
Yeah, on a map like this, if you're able to just kind of like roll it down an alley or put people in a position where they just can't escape from, it's going to be really crucial. And right now in SPF 7, they still have map control and are able to kind of eat away at their 60 penalty points that they had. Will they be able to get rid of it completely? And it looks like they are, and they are able to continue to push up, continue to hold on to the zone.
L3.
Yeah.
How are they alive? Oh, they finally go down, unfortunately, to that Neo Splash, who has just been putting in so much work this entire match, taken out by the missiles, though. We've got 4 remaining. I mean, Intimidation Factor is fighting for their life. That Junior just Oh, crossfired by 3 people, and that's going to be the set 2-1 yet again.
Yeah, we are seeing really interesting like game threes here. You know, the underdogs have been doing really well on them. So good job for SPS7 for getting the win. You're ending your Friday Night Frenzy career or your season with a win. That's the best way to go out, right?
Oh, definitely. It's a very nice way to go out, and in what a fashion too. That was a great win.
Oh, absolutely. You know, we saw a lot of back and forth, and I think that really early push by SPS7 just helped them tremendously, and they were able to survive even with having 60 penalty points and getting the knockout too. Like, you got a knockout on Intimidation Factor, so that's awesome.
Definitely. Very, very glad for both of these teams. It's just a great note to end on for SPS7 and for Intimidation Factor. Like you mentioned at the beginning of this set, they're going to be going into playoffs with a win, so that's a very nice amount of momentum to be able to ride.
Yeah, absolutely. So Intimidation Factor ending Friday Night Frenzy at 5-2. SPS7 didn't quite get the set win, but you did get the very last match win. And now, coming up next, we have Radical Dreamers versus Flounder Frights. And as we mentioned before, Wiggly Phantoms, they're all watching. I know you guys are all watching this, and you are rooting for the Radical Dreamers to get a win. Radical Dreamers obviously rooting for themselves. You know, why wouldn't you? Nightwings, I'm guessing they're going to be rooting for, you know, Flounder Frights to just kind of, you know, stay loyal to their own team and you know, not let the team that beat you get into the playoffs. You know, I'm not saying that these teams are definitely like obviously like rooting against a specific team, but you definitely want to root for your friends here.
Right. Maybe the real Friday night. Maybe the real frenzy was the friends we made along the way. Friday night friends.
We're gonna clip that. That is amazing. Yeah, so we'll put that on a poster. Cater will put your face there, and everything.
Maybe the real frenzy was the friends.
Oh my gosh,
the frenzy we made along the way.
I love it. I love it. So there you
go.
Yeah, taking a look at both of these teams, Radical Dreamers, I think they're one of the only teams, maybe along. Okay, actually, I think only half of the teams have had subs so far. I don't think Radical Dreamers have used a sub at all. Flounder Frights, I don't know which 4 players on the roster will be playing tonight. They've done a pretty good job mixing it up, kind of just throughout the entire season, and that's always great too. If you have a roster of 7 people, you might as well try and utilize all of them, because committing to 8 Fridays in a row is a lot, you know? So,
oh, definitely.
Yeah, but
and with those...
Go on.
Oh, yeah, and with those differing maps and modes, I mean, you're going to be able to play up people's strengths and weaknesses there, and help out, you know, maybe sub out somebody who doesn't like a specific map mode, or sub in somebody whose weapons just perfectly fit the you know, tonight's set or something like that. It gives you a lot of flexibility.
It really does. And again, starting off tower control and MakoMart, we kind of have seen it all with this map and mode. So I don't know what else there is to say. I mean, maybe a quick KO. That's kind of what we haven't seen. You know, I don't know if we'll see it here in this match, but basing it off of what we previously saw in the second set, it was really incredible.
Definitely. I mean, maybe we'll see something quick. Maybe we'll see another one of those long, agonizing 4-minute struggles in mid before one team breaks through, like we saw in that second set. I mean, who knows?
Yeah, who knows? I mean, if you're Radical Dreamers, I think you've won maybe 3 or 2 games in Friday Night Frenzy so far. So, you know, unfortunately not quite getting that set win, but this is the time to do it, the very last week of the season, and you're facing a Flounder Frights team that they are looking to get into the playoffs, so if you can spoil that for them, that has got to be something that's really nice.
Yeah, what, you know, a little bit of schadenfreude there, just, you know, hey, we maybe took that first seed away from you just a little bit. This is the first seed deciding match.
That is correct. Yeah, with the Wiggly Phantoms winning, they, you know, if they need other things to happen for them to get a 4 seed, but we will know the 4 teams that are going to be playing in the playoffs after this match. Again, we won't know the seeds of the seeds 1 and 2 between KingMaker and InkSync quite yet, but we will figure that out later during set 4.
Oh yes, we will. That I mean, that's going to be a very nice set later on. Very nice set. Are we going to end on that set?
We are. That will be the last set. Yes, yes.
Great set to end not the playoffs, the round robin stage of this tournament. And that one's going to be a great one.
It is. Our teams are getting ready to get into the lobby here now. And, I've had the pleasure, I think I mentioned this last week, of listening in on a lot of Radical Dreamers scrims. And it's so fun. And I know tonight, Sapphire will not be playing. I believe she's played in at least 5 of the 6 previous sets. She told me, she's like, I'm so sorry, but I won't be able to play this week. And luckily they have the roster for it. They have they are very well coordinated and established team, which is something I'm thankful for. It makes my job easier as a TO too. So
definitely.
Oh yeah.
Emergency subs are such a nightmare to deal with as a TO myself, especially one that has run capped tournaments before. You gotta background check this person in like 2 seconds and then approve or deny them, and if you deny them, the team is just like, oh my god, now we have to go find another sub. It's just such a hassle. So eliminating that it makes it a lot easier on your players and your TOs.
Yeah, it absolutely does. All of our players are now in the lobby. We're waiting on a few more to make their weapon selection. And are there any weapons that you are looking to see that we haven't quite seen yet?
We've seen Tri-Sloshers, but I don't know if we've seen Tri-Sloshers on Mako just yet. We've seen that regular Slosher, but Tri can do a lot of damage here, similar to Carbon as well as the regular roller that we've seen. I'm glad we've seen rollers tonight. I want to see some more Sloshers.
Yeah, sloshers are fun. Not fun to face, but, fun to play sometimes. Especially when you can get in a position just like when you are on the ledge. Makes it so much easier to play.
Definitely.
Right. And we are ready, so let's get going with this first match here between Radical Dreamers and Flounder Frights. Radical Dreamers going to be trying to get a set win to get a first win. Flounder Frights trying to keep their playoff hopes alive.
Yep, and here we go. We've got that Jet Squelcher making a comeback, except it's a custom Jet Squelcher this time. And we've got a double Dynamo coming out. Double Dynamo 96, as well as custom Blaster.
Look at the power of those weapons coming from Radical Dreamers. It is incredible. But right now, Flounder Frights able to get a little bit of map control pretty early on. Again, you don't really have the player advantage. You don't want to quite take the tower just yet, but we'll see where this Booyah Bomb positions members from Flounder Frights. And it looks like a few players from Radical Dreamers had to move away a little bit and are now starting to retreat. 2 players are down, 3 players are down on Radical Dreamers.
Yeah, and everyone is swarming that Dynamo. I mean, Stingray fight going on. We've got Dynamos going down, we've got Stingrays going out. This member of Flounder is very narrowly avoiding that Stingray, and now they're just sitting pretty on that tower as the Dynamo unfortunately makes a bit of a risky drop and is not able to follow up on it. It's going to be 3 down yet again. However, they've got respawns coming in for them. I hope they play a little bit slower. I hope they just wait to regroup just a tad and don't rush in too quickly, especially with all of these specials coming out from Flounder, and that's gonna be 3 down again, unfortunately. With that, we've got the members just so deep into their base, practically almost spawn camping them at this point. They are very, very, very close.
Yeah, and right now, Flounder Frights able to push up just a little bit more, getting all the way to 10, getting past 10 with the help of the Ray, and Kia is going to get the KO for them, getting the win for Flounder Frights.
That Ray is exactly what you want. Pretty much just prevented anyone from taking a step into the path of the tower for fear of just getting lasered to death. And that's exactly what you want, just that quick KO. Moving on to the next one. Although, like you said, the sheer power behind that double Dynamo comp is absolutely amazing. Perhaps it could have just used a little bit more turf control or close up control, like maybe like a splash in there would have been great for them, so that it could help keep the pressure off of those Dynamos.
Yeah, absolutely. The quickest game 1 we have seen so far tonight, and I like the aggression, the weapon choice from Radical Dreamers. The aggression was there, but it's just so hard to fight 1v1s up close with those weapons too. Makes it a little tricky sometimes, so it's, we'll see what they choose for Claim Blitz here.
Yeah, definitely. We're gonna go back to Clam Blitz on Musselforge, and we've seen a lot on this. I mean, I love to see how the heavy Splatlings bubbles were used. I do hope we see another bubble weapon here tonight.
Yeah, I agree. And again, with that quick match too, if you're Wiggly Phantoms, you're uh-oh. All right, Radical Dreamers, let's go. Let's get us this win here. You know, we wanna celebrate. We want to frenzy another Friday, as they as they posted in their poster that we posted. Okay, a lot of posts. Wow. Okay, that they mentioned ahead of time. Yeah. So
they posted in the poster that we then posted.
Yeah. How many posts could a poster post if posters could post? Yeah.
or you know, like whatever the saying is.
Whatever.
Yeah.
But I've enjoyed the Clam Blitz Musselforge matches that we've seen so far. Really not much use out of the sides. We did have one push there during game 1, but haven't really seen it again. I know SPF 7, they tried to do it, but unfortunately they were caught and couldn't score. But we'll see how these two teams, as they are ready for game number 2.
Yes, we definitely will see. And here we go. Comps are going to be revealed. Seeing a Forge, seeing a Squeezer, seeing more Forge. That's a lot of shooters. Wow, we've got bubbles galore. I mean, I asked for bubbles and I certainly got it with that double bubble comp coming out of Radical Dreamers. They've got the Octobrush as well, which is going to be super nice. But that double bubble with both the Forge as well as the Squeezer, weapons that are pretty similar in range and high damage. The Squeezer just being a little bit more range, as well as having the automatic shot belly. And oh my goodness, Crow pulling up that beautiful shot, jumping down. And now it looks like they're going to be very much utilizing that. The Dynamo can't even land that swing before they immediately get mowed down. And now we're going to be seeing some Clam trading for a very smooth first barrier break.
We are very quick KO too by Flounder Frights, able to push up and still continue to score as we see a 2v2, but no clams yet. Can Kia get around the side in time and follow up some up? Yes, she can. Gets a few more clams, and this basket is still open. Echo dropped down, and everybody's really pushing up that side, but the basket's now closed. And look, it looks like Echo is the only one alive right now. Gonna have to be pushing up and taking control of mid. But getting all the way to 59, you got past 60, which we know is really crucial.
Oh, definitely. I mean, we saw, just like you said, another, last one alive situation here, interestingly enough. Maybe that's the thing that happens a lot on Musselforge. I don't know, but we've been seeing it. And now we've got a bit more of just a back and forth in mid. You see these bubbles floating all around the map as well, blocking off a couple of avenues. We've got that power clam for Flounder right now, and they've got a lot of clams on the small clams on them as well. They've just got to break down the defenses of their opponents right now, and they are very quick to do that with that first inkjet kill. That's going to open up a lot of doors for them. As you can see, it looks like they're going to try and use that side again. Oh, but Radical Dreamers have learned, and they're going to be able to defend that avenue with the inkjet very nicely. So that's not going to be another easy clam for them.
Yeah, and I mean, it looks like right now, Flounder Frights, they did have a few players go down. The basket's in. I saw Chase flank from the other side, too. They kind of have a double flank going on. If you're Radical Dreamers, you're pretty happy that they didn't follow too many clams up during that push. It just felt like a long push for a power clam and maybe a follow-up clam. I don't even think there was that, actually. No, because they are still at 59 with 10 penalty points. But right now, Radical Dreamers trying to take a little bit more control of mid, but unfortunately keep going down to a few of these 1v1s.
Yeah, unfortunately here, 1v1s are really crucial, just because a lot of the fights, just the sheer geometry and verticality of this map mean that it's really hard to get from one location to another, or compared to other maps, so you might be on your own in 1v1s. But right now we've got one power clam up for Radical Dreamers, as well as that pity clam that they have underneath their basket, so they don't have a shortage of clams, but they need to defend right now. As you can see, that push up on the side is going in, the clam going in, even though they get taken out, and we've got, defense in place, so but unfortunately that's just going to delay them even more. It does give them another clam, but every second that they spend on defense is a second that they lose on offense. Though with a delayed wipe on the side of Flounder, they are going to be able to come back, go into mid, and hopefully they can capitalize on this.
Yeah, Flounder Frights, they're able to just kind of get one power claim in, and I really like what you said. The longer it takes for them to kind of get these team wipes in the closest basket, the less time they're going to have for themselves too, which they really need all the time in the world. And right now, they do have two specials ready. They had, no, now just one, I guess. But Doctor going to be sitting there. I thought they were going to get in a position to jump. Oh, had the bubbles ready. Okay. And right now, Radical Dreamers still trying to take control of mid. Some Clam's still there, but going to have to retreat just a little bit as these Flounder Frights players are all over the map right now.
Yeah, unfortunately, when you don't take advantage of an opportunity like that, you lose it in just a couple of seconds, and you need to act. That's one of the things that you learn over time playing comp Splatoon, just how to make decisions on the fly, decisions that can make or break an entire game. But of course we have the Dynamo here putting down so much ink. They have that Booyah Bomb at the ready, which is going to be super duper important in this last 39 seconds. They have it right now. They're going to pop it. They get shredded before they are able to throw it, but unfortunately the fact that they died to that is really, really unfortunate, just because it means that that's going to leave their team at a bit of a disadvantage. However, we still have possibilities. We have those bubbles coming out from the Forge. We also have the bubbles from the Squeezer. We know that they're going in. They're trying to go in, but unfortunately the Squeezer, as they're bubbling, gets caught out unawares. That's a full wipe with just 11 seconds left, and you can see the celebratory Booyah coming out as they know that they can just go in, go for complete broke, and that right there is immediate just capitalization on the wipe situation. You saw them. They had that Clam. They immediately ran for the basket. They stopped overtime as soon as it started.
They did, and with that win, Flounder Frights is going to get the set win, and they will secure a spot in the playoffs, being the number 4 seed. Unfortunately for the Wiggly Phantoms, they will not be moving on to the playoffs, and Radical Dreamers will not be getting this set win either. But man, that was textbook play by Flounder Frights, just kind of pushing up, scoring at the very last second, right when overtime approaches too. They played that perfectly.
Yeah, they didn't even give Radical Dreamers a chance to do anything during overtime. But like you said, we still got our last map to play, and I mean, if history repeats itself, maybe it'll be something like the last 2 sets we saw, with very dominant games from the team that was currently down.
Yeah, absolutely. Radical Dreamers, this is your game to win right here too, and it's gonna be fun. You know, I like the idea of the early Ray that we saw before that really helped, I believe, members of Nightwings to just kind of get that KO. What's really hard, I think, Radical Dreamers, they're going to just need to win these 1v1s. You know, what we saw there, it was just hard. I know Chase was doing a really good job. Kia and Matt were doing a really good job too, and it's hard. It is very hard.
Definitely. Yeah, this game in itself is hard, but you gotta find a way around it. So hopefully, like you said, they can put some strategy, some ideas of their own into action here.
Yes, and our teams are ready for their final matchup tonight. Let's go Splat Zones on Port Mackerel.
Yeah, this might be the final Friday that they frenzy, but they can certainly go out with a bang here on Splat Zones on Port Mackerel. We're going to be seeing Cons in just a second here. Oh!
Okay.
Teams.
Definitely no coordination between these two teams going.
Absolutely not at
Squiffer.
all.
And look, fresh Squiffer from the side of Flounder Frights. They're giving us a time. All right. Oh, 3 players down now for Radical Dreamers. Oh, and that is a wipe.
Yeah, I mean, we've got laser tag going on here, but with all these specials now, and inkjets are flying out and about. Oh my goodness, this is so chaotic.
Oh my gosh. And yeah, members of Radical Dreamers couldn't leave spawn, and oh man, who's the Squiffer main on this team? Oh, this is wow. Radical Dreamers trying to. Oh, that's look at that trade. They just shot each other too. Kia is backing up because Radical Dreamer players are trying to flank. Lady Rat trying to go up there. Doctor's now going to be pushing mid. They just want to get one cap on the zone, but it's so hard for them to push out. Man, and who would have ever thought that Port Mackerel was a campy mode or campy map? I have no idea.
I mean, Port Mackerel's a great place to play all chargers on because of all of the. Whoa, there's the cap. Somebody managed to back cap there. We've got picks coming out from Radical Dreamers as well, and Lady Red's going in with that baller. Not the only. yeah, the only new Squiffer player on the field. Unfortunate that their baller just immediately gets shredded. And oh, we've got one member going down though on Flounder, and we've got them avoiding a couple of lasers, but that person's been spotted, and oh, they're gonna retreat. And how do you even commentate a quad Squiffer?
You know, I think we're doing a pretty good job with it.
That's a full wipe.
That's a wipe.
That's
yeah.
a full wipe, though.
Here's our chance.
Yeah.
Radical Dreamer is able to get that wipe, get control of the zone. 55 penalty points for Flounder Frights, and Radical Dreamer is going to be pushing out now. Can they repeat what Flounder Frights did to them? We'll see. But you know, you want to flank from all possible angles. Pain with a very nice snipe, but then goes down to Crow.
Yeah. Almost able to get that. That would have been so cool if they got that. And we've got all of the inkjets coming in. You know, terror from the skies, or justice, I don't know, justice reigns from above, or whatever they say. But Radical Dreamer is able to get the snipe on them. And oh, we are seeing a very close-up fight now. You imagine getting poked to death by a Squiffer when you're another Squiffer.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what's happening here. We're seeing subs and specials also getting used. Unfortunately, that's going to be 3 down on Radical Dreamers. So we're going to be seeing this almost spawn campy position come back in yet again. As you can see, these alleyways in Port Mackerel just very nice.
I love Inkjet versus Inkjet. It just reminds me of like it's from like
Ooh,
Pokemon the first movie. You know, watching like Mewtwo versus Mew or something. That's what
oh
it
my
reminds
goodness,
me of.
Chase! Oh, that snipe! That was such a good flick. They're
No.
just showing off.
Now, yeah, Chase, I think a lot of these players are doing a really good job. I'm telling you, I'm the world's worst like Charger and Squiffer player out there. I would be sitting here with 0 kills. So the fact that all 8 of these players seem to be doing a good job is saying a lot. And again, giving us a really good match for Radical Dreamers' final match of Friday Night Frenzy. Ooh,
Radical
in a
Dreamers,
sticky
how
situation,
are they alive? How did they stay alive? And with that, that's gonna be the KO. But wow, I mean, what a way to that is what you call a frenzy.
Absolutely, giving us a really, really good game 3 of that set. I mean, like, again, those players, like, look at the kill counts.
Oh my god,
look at Chase and Crow. Oh my gosh, with the Squiffer. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Flounder Frights moving on, and again, staying alive in the playoffs. And I love that. I like meme matches when, you know, obviously both teams agreed to it, and you know, at this point there wasn't anything at stake really. So I want to thank Radical Dreamers and Flounder Frights for that, because that was absolutely amazing.
Definitely, all you gotta do is have a little fun, you know.
Absolutely,
it was great to see.
Friday Night Frenzy fun. But with that, we only have one more match that we need to do tonight. And that is KingMaker versus InkSync. This is the matchup that early on in the season, I saw this and I was like, okay, that's going to be a marquee matchup. And I don't know when it is or when we figured it out, but I was like, that's week 7. Okay. Both of these teams could still be undefeated. I do know InkSync, they lost to Wiggly Phantoms earlier on, I think during week 3. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. I believe that's when it happened, but these two teams, they have really showed their dominance so far in Friday Night Frenzy.
Definitely. It's just going to be a treat to watch these two teams go head to head. And of course, they are fighting for that first seed. So if nothing, I mean, we're going from nothing at stake in that last match to everything at stake right here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, both of these teams are in the playoffs, but there's something to be said about the bragging rights of just being number 1. If you're KingMaker, you have the chance to go undefeated. If you're InkSync, you have the chance to knock off the team who is currently in the lead and has been in the lead pretty much this entire season. And once again, let me show you the wonderful poster that Hammer made for the preview of this match. And I think our audio is actually working for this one, so that's good. But just look at this artwork.
Oh my goodness.
I love it so much, and I'm really, really looking forward to this set. So InkSync, they did play in Friday Night Frenzy Season 1, and were actually the runners-up. So if you're InkSync, you don't want to be the runners-up again in Season 2. You want to be at the top.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very, very excited to see this. I mean, Falco Flyers Friday Night Frenzy Tournament. Friday, Friday, October 22nd. How many more Fs could you fit into that? Goodness.
Friday night frenzy fun. I still like what you said earlier. It's not about the frenzy, it's about the friends you made along the way. Or what was the exact quote? What did you say?
Maybe the real frenzy was the friends we made along the way.
I love it so much. It's so great.
Maybe like the slogan or something. I don't know.
I mean, we already know that was already clipped. So I thank you again for saying that.
I did not realize that.
No, we appreciate it. But yeah, yeah, this artwork is fantastic. Thank you, Hammer. I know you're here, but you know you got to get ready for your match. You got to get ready. I know I've listened to some KingMaker VCs, and they are so fun to listen to. I think as Hammer put it, it is 70% yelling, 30% callouts. Now,
I can see that. I mean, yeah, honestly, Team VCs all have their own charm to them. Like, I remember back when I played with Syzygy, unfortunately we don't play, we are still friends, we don't play comp anymore as a team due to a lot of just time commitments, but when Syzygy played, I remember in the middle of one low ink, we were like looking up where to buy rocket and grenade launchers or something like that.
Oh my gosh.
And we've had some amazing quotes such as, I think, Crummy, one of my teammates, saying like, you get in an accident and you get in a car crash and you're like, the car is one shot. Stuff like that. It's just been, you get stuff like that from our VCs, or just joking around, or hearing the callouts when my team decides to take the right route in Anchovy Rainmaker in overtime and somehow wins through that. Just, it's amazing.
Yeah, and again, I know InkSync, they've been around, and they've told me they've been around forever too. I don't think I've gotten a good glimpse at their VCs. I don't know if they really stream it that much, but I can imagine. I don't know if there's as much yelling as there is during the KingMaker VCs, but every team's like that, you know what I mean? And if you're not gonna have, if you're all business and completely serious and no fun, like, you're not gonna have fun playing Splatoon. You know, you gotta have the right attitude too, and I know both of these teams definitely have the right attitude.
Yeah, this game has always been about fun for me, so I love just the wholesome interactions between teammates or players or people on the timeline. It's always amazing to see just the sense of community that this game has built up in all of us.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, starting on Tower Control MakoMart. So now that I mentioned we didn't see a quick KO before, we saw it in the last set. I think we've seen everything for Tower, but I know with these two teams that are going to be playing, they could give us some surprises, and I am really looking forward to seeing it.
Definitely, we'll have to see what they have up their sleeve. We've just got one member left to ready up, and then we will be catapulted into the last match of our round robin section.
Yes, absolutely. Our teams are ready. Let's bring you the action between KingMaker and InkSync. This is the final set of the regular season of Friday Night Frenzy. Here we go.
Here we go indeed, back to our first map mode of the set. We've got Tower Control on MakoMart, and here we go. We've got brushes, of course we have brushes. What did I expect? We've also got double Splatling and Soda coming out, as well as those blue dapples again. I'm very, very excited to see how both of these comps work out. I mean, I've heard of KingMaker's comps, but I don't think I've ever actually gotten to watch them play before. Or, oh, no, I have not. So this is going to be a treat.
It was so hard. And again, yeah, they always use 3 brushes and then typically swap out with Bob and, is it Jojo who uses the Neo Splash typically? I'm not sure. But right now, 3 players are down on InkSync, and they have a double Splatling comp too. Ooh, Kate with some nice picks there. Can they get the last one? No, it looks like Paolo stays alive and is now going to get on the tower as KingMaker only pushes to 96. This is going to be a brutal match.
Oh, it definitely is. That knot there just got caught between I would say a rock and a hard place, but it was more an Octobrush and an ink brush. And I mean, this ink brush here just able to get another pick, and I love how they've also balanced out the types of ink brushes that they're using. They've got the Nouveau as well as the regular Octobrush online, so they have a variety of subs and specials in their comps. We've got a lot happening on the field though, with that last Octobrush able to jump out, so that's going to be all of this map control going down for InkSync right now as KingMaker retreats just a little bit, but brushes on the flank. I mean, when you've got 3 brushes, you're always gonna have brushes on the flank.
Getting a nice double and then goes
beautiful.
down. Yeah, man, this is a battle for mid, and KingMaker, they couldn't get past the first checkpoint, only got to 78, and right now InkSync kind of, well, they just hopped off the tower at 88. I swear, we're only a minute and a half in, and we've just seen so many, so many different moves and so many different plays. And I don't think I've really seen Jimmy use the ballpoint before. Typically, Jimmy is using the bamboo or the charger, so this is a treat for me. Ooh, nice.
Oh yeah, but
assisted double.
That was. I mean, that's the equivalent of a collateral shot on a splat, like on a charger. That's basically the equivalent on a splat. Like, ooh, another pick as well. I mean, you can see that tower riding skill come into play here. Another rain out on the field now, and unfortunately, those blue dapples are down, so that's gonna be their main source of aggression down. And with that, I believe that ballpoint's on their own. They're gonna go down, but of course, they've still got their teammates backing them up. We don't talk a lot about blue dapples. We didn't get to talk about them the last time we saw them, but I mean, I'm a big fan of them just because I had a teammate that plays them. And that teammate is a good friend as well, so I am an advocate for blue dapples myself.
You know, but I am too. I think they're underrated.
Yeah, they are definitely underrated. I mean, you've got the rain, which is really nice for area control, as well as that toxic mist. And honestly, one of my favorite places to synergize with blue dapples as a CJet player is on Rainmaker, because that mist is absolutely crucial on Rainmaker. Just the already like slower movement speed combined with just the debuffs that you get from being in mist, it's very cool. And I mean, while we're on the topic, we're seeing some nice baller play from that inkjet right there. And meanwhile, we've got KingMaker taking the lead, capitalizing on that 3 down. Ooh, full wipe situation on an ink sink there, and they are going to ride this tower, hopefully all the way to that second checkpoint. You can see, ooh, but unfortunately that Nautilus gunning them down from the side there, stopping that push right in its tracks.
I could tell what Bob was trying to do, just get in a position, hide behind that pole so you can't be seen. Unfortunately, just able to slip up, and getting all the way to 43 though, with just about a minute and a half remaining, putting yourself in a very good position. But we know how aggressive this Ink Sync team is, especially with Jimmy on this ballpoint doing a really good job. And we've seen K just fly all over the map too, and that's really what you need. But man, I'm telling you, it is hard to take down these brushes. Paolo with a very nice kill, going to be pushing up, gets Jimmy.
Goodness.
2 players, 3 players are down now on Ink Sync as KingMaker continues to get some more of the map, and now are getting on the tower. 1 minute remaining.
1 minute remaining indeed. You can see all of these places. I mean,
staying alive with that baller.
Staying alive. You know, it's very, very close calls here when you've got the brush, but I am also loving their mine and beacon placements so much. All of these utility subs out of KingMaker going to very, very nice use. I mean, you can see they only have the 1 lethal sub in that auto bomb there, but they're still, I mean, that's not, oh my god, I can't think right now. I'm just in awe. They're able to function as a normal team without that reliance on lethal subs that you often see from a lot of teams, and that was
an interesting baller movement.
Baller physics, I guess.
Baller physics. We have about 15 seconds left, and right now, InkSync needing to push up, but keeping Jimmy back there is going to be key. Just throwing that autobomb there. Maddie holding back a little bit, watching for K to jump down. Tower is at mid right now, and it looks like InkSync is on the tower, but it's going to go down. Game 1 is going to go to KingMaker.
Yeah, that's just anticipation of someone jumping down. These are shark-infested waters, and you have to keep an eye out when you're playing against 3 brushes.
You do, and that was such a key match too, because setting the tone for this set is very, very important. And if InkSync wants to win, they're going to have to win these next 2 matches, and we'll see if there's a player swap. Typically, KingMaker has swapped players in the past. They swap out Bob and JoJo from time to time, but we'll kind of see what happens here.
Definitely. I mean, with that game on its own, I'm very excited to see what we have in the next 2 slightly less orthodox map modes that we have coming up.
That's right, but so far, I think this Clam Blitz Musselforge match has been really, really good. You know, I don't think anything has been too cheeky that we have seen so far on Splat Zone's Port Mackerel, but we'll see. InkSync, I don't think we had Musselforge earlier this season. Of course, every time I guess something, I'm wrong, but it looks like one of the members from InkSync was swapping out, so Bob is still staying in. Bob is staying in, and they now have Chili. They swapped out Jimmy for Chili.
Hey, that kind of rhymes.
And we'll see what they do here. I mean, again, KingMaker is going to be using that 3 brush. Bob will 99% likely will be using the junior that he has been using. And again, if you're KingMaker, whatever isn't broken, you know, don't fix it. And their comp, very unconventional, but it suits them very well.
It has the same energy as 20 Pew Pew to me, honestly.
Yeah. Because 22 Pew Pew, is that strictly quad bamboo?
Yes, though.
Okay.
It is strictly quad bamboo, but it has the same energy in that it's an unorthodox comp with a lot of one weapon, but they make it work.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then they get known for it.
Yes, they certainly do. They certainly do. They have a very good Twitter. There's a lot of teams here that have really fun and engaging Twitter pages. So both of these teams have Twitter. Definitely go follow them, KingMaker and InkSync. I don't know their handles off the top of my head, but they are not hard to find. They're posted by Friday Night Frenzy pretty frequently, so definitely go check them out. But our teams
Indeed.
are ready for this set. Let's bring you game 2. InkSync needing to win this match to stay alive. KingMaker, if they win this match, they will end their Friday Night Frenzy regular season undefeated, sitting at 7-0. Can InkSync get the win to go 6-1? Let's find out.
Of course, there, as expected, is that triple brush comp, but we'll have to see what comes out on the other side. Not too much change, although we do have, of course, the swap out instead of the ballpoint. We've got the that Tri Slosher, which is, we did see Tri here previously, so that's definitely going to be useful, especially with all of these slopes, all of this verticality that we have here.
Yeah, definitely. And what I like about the Junior with this map in particular, not that I really like Musselforge that much, but what's really nice is kind of like throwing a bomb up or down a ledge, because it can really catch people off guard. Ooh,
oh yeah.
K with a nice pick, trying to get a double, but man, dapples against an Inkjet are pretty hard to do.
Definitely. That's the one time like your lower range just kind of screws you over trying to hit things up high like splashdown canceling. I've heard so many complaints about trying to splashdown cancel with things like dapples and junior and try that lower range screwing you over.
Right, and now, again, this match is pretty neutral. Nobody has a power clam yet, and right now, InkSync, they did have map control at mid, but we see KingMaker pushing up. 2 players are down, 3 players down on the side of InkSync. We saw where that 1 player was alive, but it looks like members from KingMaker are trying to form a power clam. Maddie has a clam. Maddie is going to go up and is going to score.
Yeah, very, very quick to form that clam. Very nice coordination from them. And now we're going to see people try and push up the side. They've got a defense in place, though, and with that Inkjet, and just all that's coming out, they get it all the way down to 59 and counting.
With those bubbles,
Whoa,
yeah.
all of these bubbles, all of these clams going in, getting it down to 47, escaping as well. Very, very nice job. I mean, they're not out of the hot water yet. They've got a lot of people on their tail, but they're able to take one down and escape. So they pulled that off, got that all the way down to 47, which is great for them. I mean, pretty much single-handedly, like, what was that, 20 points?
Yeah, that was really, really nice. And it looked like every member from KingMaker was able to score some clams. Like, that's pretty rare that on a not wipe that happens. You know, so the positioning of this KingMaker team is pretty much unparalleled right now.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. And as you can see, they're already readying up for their next push. They've got that power clam. They've got 2 specials online. Unfortunately, with one of their octobrushes down, they're likely going to wait for that respawn, but still, they are in a very, very nice position. You can see them ballering in, but with that baller getting affected by the toxic mist. Yeah, just a little bit slow. That power clam's in a horrible spot. It's behind that ledge. They're gonna try, go for it, but unfortunately just gonna lose that clam. Very unfortunate, but still some picks going in the favor of KingMaker, so all hope is not yet lost, and they did not give up too much for that push, so they can still fall back into a bit more defensive position.
That's right, and 2 minutes remaining now, and you know, KingMaker, they haven't scored since they had that push, and right now, InkSync doing a good job forming these clams, but again, it's just so hard to push it forward as you're trying, you know, you're spotted with this power clam. It's always hard when you have it so far below, because you just have a giant target on your back. You know, what most of these players want to do is really form a power clam at the very last second before they're about to score. But it looks like Paolo's going to score their power clam. Can Bob get there too? Unfortunately, no, that clam's going to drop. But we'll see if Paolo running with the brush, and that's like one of the key movements of the brush. It's just so fast. But there's going to be no follow-up, as it looks like InkSync still has control of the map, but 2 players are down now.
The power of the brush to just run in, run out. And it looks like they're trying that again. That baller, though. unfortunately going to put them in a little bit of a bad position. They somehow still picked that Clam up and they're running away with it. I don't understand how ink brushes do that, but they do, and oh my god, I'm just in awe at the movement displayed from this brush here.
Absolutely. 3 players down on the side of InkSync. Chili is alone, but it looks like Hammer's going to be pushing up the side. Paolo's going to be pushing up mid. Paolo goes in. Hammer's still alive. Hammer is going to score her power claim too. Bob pushing up the side now is going to maybe get some in. Pushing up with the bubbles, going to be getting some claims in. Hammer now going to be inkjetting. Paolo going to be rushing there, and KingMaker is going to win the set.
That also means that they take first seed as well, so we now know our seeds and the order of them, of course. So now we know who's going to be going into our playoffs next week. Very excited for that.
We do, and yeah, I mean, KingMaker going undefeated in this game. In this whole series of Friday Night Frenzy, congratulations to them. InkSync so close, but we still have one more game to play. Even though we have everything decided, we have one more game, and I mean, InkSync, they don't want to get 3-0'd. You know, they want to play this final game.
You know, I just want to see what 3 brushes on Port Mackerel looks like, because I feel that's like the brushes are either going to have a field day or they're going to have a terrible time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you know that lack of range, because you know, on one hand you have the corners and a brush can just pop out from a corner and slap you and then you're dead, but also you have the lack of range on those really long alleys. So if InkSync can choose something with longer range or higher map control, or even just pull out some rays, KingMaker might be at a serious disadvantage.
They might, and you know, will we see something similar to what we saw in set 3 with a quad Squiffer? I don't know if these teams are really going to want to coordinate that. If you're InkSync, you want to avoid getting swept, so who knows? Who knows what we'll see, but we do have 2 player swaps. So it looks like JoJo is now in for KingMaker, and Jimmy is now in for K. So we likely won't be seeing Purple Dapples. We won't be seeing our Kenza Jr. Maybe the Neo Splash. I believe that's what JoJo plays. But yeah, like you mentioned before, triple brush on Spot Zone's port. It seems like that would be really hard to finagle, but again, if there's a team that can do it, do you know what team it is? It's KingMaker.
Those dapples are blue, not purple. But anyways.
So, fair. Okay, yes, I stand corrected.
Yes, no, I've never heard anyone call them purple dapples before. Interestingly enough.
I don't know. They look kind of
I guess
purple.
That's fair. I guess, yeah, like maybe from a distance they could look.
I also have color correction on my monitors, so that could probably be part of it. I actually have a blue light reduction, so every
I do as well.
Oh, well, you know.
Yeah.
Either way, these teams are ready for the final matchup of Friday Night Frenzy during the regular season. Let's see if KingMaker can get a clean sweep or if InkSync can get a match out of them.
And here we go. We are going to have the comps revealed in just a second. Of course, we've got that K-Gal coming out now, and we have the Bamboo from Jimmy, so very excited to see that, especially just Bamboo's really powerful on this. You know, you've got the alleys, so you can just point. It is basically just a point-and-click adventure, is it not?
Yeah, if you have good aim, and...
It's true! You know, that is true.
I would say, like, I think
96 is the more point-and-click weapon, in my opinion. Because, you know, you don't have to have great aim for Gal.
Right, I like where Dwigas is. You know, he's sitting in a position where he can't really refill his ink, but it's also very hard to be spotted. Right now, InkSync getting the pretty early cap right now. Dwigas staying behind. Hammer, almost getting that nice kill there, but getting a good pick, and then it's going to go down to Dwigas, as Dwigas is holding really strong with Jimmy, working really well together.
Yeah, great synergy between the two. Oh, I mean, I didn't even see that pick, but they just shot wildly to Frank. Got it. Ooh, got that pick on Maddie as well. You can see that K-Gal firing up that Booyah Bomb directly into zone. But you can see the Nautilus here has predicted the movement and assisted in getting that kill, helping pincer that K-Gal. And so with this timer very quickly counting down. I mean, we're already under 20, and perhaps we could continue to see a little bit of an upset here. I mean, we're in the single digits already. We guys just holding down zone single-handedly, and that's the game for InkSync. That's our final game. That
is. They were able to avoid the sweep, getting their win, and you know, that's good. You know, maybe this should have been maybe this match should have been featured in game 1 instead of game 3. I don't know. What do you think?
Oh, I think that would have changed things so much more.
It probably would have, but also may have left a little bit of a sour taste in people's mouth with
Yeah,
starting off as
definitely.
Port Mackerel. But again, Inksync getting that final win, avoiding the sweep, and we could very well see these two teams again in the grand finals next week.
Definitely. And if we do see that, that's going to be a wonderful rematch. So we've got our final four. We've got KingMaker, we've got Inksync, we've got Intimidation Factor, and we've got
Flounder Frights.
Flounder Frights. Yes,
yes.
I remember the fright part, just not the flounder part. I almost said pufferfish party.
Puffer, you had the right idea. But yeah, here are the
it's a fish. You know what I'm talking about.
That's right. Here are the current standings, as Cater was mentioning. KingMaker 7-0, Inksync 5-2, Intimidation Factor 5-2, Flounder Frights 4-3. But tonight we are going to say farewell to four beloved teams: the Wiggly Phantoms, Nightwings, SPF 7, and Radical Dreamers. Thank you guys so much for playing in Friday Night Frenzy, and we loved having you here. You guys put on quite a performance, all four of you teams. Thank you for all of the great matches. I know you guys had a lot of fun, because you guys mentioned that your VCs were wild. You had a lot of fun. So again, Wiggly Phantoms, Nightwings, SPF 7, Radical Dreamers, thank you guys so much. But let's recap on tonight's matches. Yeah, so the only one to end in a 3-0 was set number 3, Flounder Frights versus Radical Dreamers, but every other set, we had the losing team of the set win game 3. So pretty close matchups overall, and I think it was a really good week. What do you think, Hater?
Oh, definitely. I mean, it's really interesting to see how it's just a map change can really change the dynamics of a set just like that. It's intriguing, honestly, especially, with the whole idea of lesser played maps showing up and changing things so much for all the teams. It's very, very interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know a lot of you guys are in chat right now from those four teams I mentioned, so thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you guys being here, but our Friday Night Frenzy is not over. Tonight it is, but we still have the playoffs that we are going to get to. There's going to be more information posted, because the playoff structure, this is the first time it's going to be announced on Friday Night Frenzy, but there are going to be counter picks in the playoffs.
Whoa!
So
very
get your ideas ready, teams. There's going to be counter picks. We will release the maps and modes are going to be the same that you can choose from that showed up during this season of Friday Night Frenzy. So get your ideas ready. But yes, live counter picks are going to be happening, so it's going to be so much fun. But we'll release more information. It's going to be best 3 out of 5 for the semifinals and the third place match, but best 4 out of 7 for the grand finals. So it's going to be a blast.
Yeah, best of 7 sets grand finals are always, very, very interesting. They can drag out very long, especially if they're double elimination. Mm-hmm. I've commentated a couple of game 14s myself, just gosh. Please let me go to sleep.
Yeah.
But
fortunately for us, there will be no bracket reset, because it's still a single elimination, but there will be a bronze match essentially.
Definitely, very excited to see that.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Again, more information will be posted on Discord, so make sure you join the Friday Night Frenzy Discord server if you haven't already. The link is there in chat. But Cater, that's going to be it for us today. How was your Friday Night Frenzy experience?
Oh, that was so much fun. We was just saying in chat that they can choose Arowana zones. Oh my goodness.
It showed up in the rotation. It showed up. They could do it.
But yeah, this was a blast. Thank you all in chat for coming out and making my night. Thank you, Falco, for commentating with me. It was a blast. Thank you for inviting me. This is a great opportunity. Thank you to our the other person in voice chat, Blue, who can't hear me. Yeah, they're deafened, but they're still very, very, very helpful.
Yes, Blue was the one who informed me that I was muted during that playoff scenario scene. So thank you. But yes,
pork mackerel.
Pork mackerel, also misspelled. A lot of things that we were able to fix.
Yes.
But yes, if you haven't, definitely follow the Friday Night Frenzy Twitter page too. FNF_SPL. We post all of our videos on YouTube too. Just search FalcoFlyer11. I have a Friday Night Frenzy playlist. Each week goes up probably like 2 to 3 days after they happen, so definitely check that out. But for now, we are going to be saying goodbye to you guys, and I hope you have a wonderful night. So Cater, once again, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you. So I hope you all have a wonderful night and stay fresh.
All right, take care, everyone. Bye. And